do I have a motion to approve the minutes? Do I have a motion?
So moved.
And any discussion thereupon?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Against? Okay. The minutes haven't been. Right now, we have some time for.
Turn your mic on. Margie, your mic's off.
Yeah, it was on, right? Yeah. Were you able to hear me?
Not if it's off.
Okay. So do we have anyone wanting to give a public comment at this time? You do have the opportunity to give a public comment as we go through the different agenda. No? Okay. Then we will move on to our announcements. The first one is that there is an EAC Network Conference on February 25th, and it's from 9 a.m. to 3:30. It's virtual, so it will be on Zoom. I think Dan went to the last one. I've gone to several. It's nice, the whole, I think this one's the whole state. EAC representatives meet and they talk about what they've done. It's kind of helps engender enthusiasm and gives you good ideas. So it's kind of long, but it's worthwhile. It costs $35 to go, but it is, as I said, virtual. And you get the cheaper registration if you register before February 3rd. So please let me know if you would like to go. If nobody can go, then I will definitely try to make it. But yeah, it's not essential, but it's worthwhile.
Margie, are these not reimbursable at all? We couldn't get like.
Well,
support for
I could request the money. I'll talk about it later. I'm requesting some money from the township. I could add that to it. I've paid, and I guess, Dan, you paid, but there's no reason we can't request the money.
I'd be supportive of that. We can talk about it later.
Okay.
And can you send out the link also, or?
Yes, I'll send out the link.
Okay, thank you.
So, yeah, I'll send the link, and then please let me know as soon as possible if you are interested in going, and more than one person can go. But we'd have to know who all's going if we're going to request the funds. Okay, any other questions? All right. Next announcement is, if you recall, I gave a lecture on Paul Hawkins' drawdown at the Willows on behalf of the League of Women Voters, and it was apparently very well received. And some of the people want me to do it other places now. So I will be doing it on March 8th at the Tredyffrin Library if anyone's interested in catching it there. And yeah, so that's that. Any comments? And another announcement, although Dan will talk about this more, is that a RFP, a request for proposal for a township energy audit, was completed and submitted to the township for review and posting. That's by way of an announcement, but as I said, Dan will expand on that. Does anyone have any other announcements? Okay. So the next order of business is to introduce our new member. We are now complete. We have 7 out of 7 members. And Carol, just for your information, our 7th member is on maternity leave, but she will be coming back next month. So Carol Jane, welcome. And I was wondering if you would like to just say a few words why you're interested in this group or anything you would like to tell us.
Thank you.
My background is really out of the pharmaceutical industry, so I don't come out of the environmental industry, but I'm very environmentally sensitive, and I support a lot of what's going on and kind of try to emulate that in my day-to-day life. And I found out about the council and thought this really represents what I think this community should support and get involved in. So it's sort of a circuitous route. I ended up here, but I've lived here about 20 years, and once I left the pharmaceutical industry, I got very involved in the local community. I served on the Wayne Business Association for a couple terms, the Women's Resource Center, and now the Neighborhood League, which I think is sort of cool because they have 3 shops and they either sell consigned or donated items. And so we're making a big effort that, to recycle, reuse, and again, we think that this fast fashion industry is really harmful. So we're doing everything we can to support people thinking about when they go through their closet or they need something to shop local and, again, think about, used, which are in very good condition and some very good brands. So I've been helping them with the whole plastic bag initiative. I think that's how I first found out about it, because we obviously have bags, and we've ordered our reusable bags, and we get a lot of bags donated, paper bags, but we're clearly, obviously, not plastic bags. I'm really careful, like the birds in the neighborhood, and so just really all that you're doing, certainly, they're all areas that I really strongly believe in and, try to incorporate into my life.
Okay, thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to working with you.
Thank you. Yeah, it sounds like you have some good connections that we'll be able to tap into. Yeah, does anyone have any comments or questions for Carol?
Welcome, Carol.
Okay, thanks. And just, if you've got ideas or something, just run it by us. We're as informal as we can be when we're sitting like this. Okay, so the next one is an update on the environmental survey. Donnell?
Thanks, Margie. The survey's been shared quite a bit on local pages, through newsletters, and on the Township's page. We currently have 101 responses. We were planning to keep the survey open until the end of February, but I will note that in the Township post and video today, it said it was going to close February 1st. We're not going to close it February 1st if we keep getting responses. I don't know what happened there, but we'd like to keep it open a little bit longer. Hope we get some more responses in the new year from folks. And then, maybe at the February or March meeting, we'll present the results to the Board of Commissioners, if we can plan on that, Melissa. Okay, thank you. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. So the next item is our Earth Day initiatives. And we talked just a little bit about it last month, but we've kind of, I think, made a little bit of progress here. Eugenia, our second newest member, has contacted me and said she would like to work on it. And so far what I have is that I contacted Gretchen at the Radnor Conservancy, and we will be hopefully joining them for a native plant giveaway, pending some funding. And this to me seemed like this is on Earth Day, the giveaway, and it will probably be at the Willows. This seemed to me like a good moment to launch our Healthy Yard initiative. So we would have a table there with literature there, and so we'd be giving away the plants, but nobody gets a plant without having to look at our literature. And there will be a quiz, too. And so I thought that might be, we could maybe, I haven't contacted Molly yet, if we could get a little publicity on it. It seemed like one good idea. We definitely need help with potting the plants. So if everybody or anybody or friends of yours, I don't have the date yet, would want to help with the potting, that would be great. Get your hands dirty, that'll be fun. That could also be a good time to start up this yard sign idea again, to, bestow a healthy yard sign to someone that has, an earth-friendly yard. So I think a couple things, and then I'll let Eugenia talk about what she's doing. I called it various things. Radnor's earth-friendly campaign, earth-friendly yard campaign, or something like that. If you've got a great little name for it, other than Radnor's earth-friendly yard campaign, let me know, because nothing is written yet. So I do like to make a big deal about this and make some kind of formal, to do about it. It is on Earth Day, which luckily happens to be on a Saturday. And yeah, it would be cool. Also, I'd like to connect with Birdtown because they're, very much into this. And I did already request that Radnor Conservancy would like us to contribute $250. So I've requested that through Melissa just today. And yeah, so that's sort of part of it. Eugenia, do you have something to add?
So I am going to put together over the next 10 days, 2 weeks, a draft of a handout, just a brief explanation of the importance of chemical-free and earth-friendly, as we call it now, yards, for the township, for people in the township. Just, I think a lot of people may not understand what it is or know exactly what it is. It will not be any big, deep science paper. Just sort of hear the facts and hear the benefits and so forth and so on for everybody to read. And obviously something we'd give away at the, as Margie said, at Earth Day. And I've spoken to a woman, so I used to work at the Morris Arboretum, and there's a woman who, named Lucy Dinsmore, who I don't know if any of you know, who's quite a plant person, and she lives in Kennett. She started a business just on healthy gardens, and she lectures all over the place. She's lecturing at the Morris Arboretum. She's very inexpensive, and so I'm sort of reaching out to her to see if she would be able to speak, maybe at Earth Day at the Willows, have a lecture, or any other time, and just see what comes of that. Start to really educate our population about what is a health-friendly yard.
I have a question. So first make a comment. We do have quite a few resources when we started this planning before, so I'll share that document with you. So you don't have to start from scratch. I think it would be great, and this is kind of a question for Melissa, if Eugenia, you provide all of the content, is it possible for this kind of pamphlet to be made into an official township document that would be a PDF and it would be available on the township website as well? I want to just stay away from only paper handouts of things because, first of all, paper. But I think it would also give some credibility to it that there was also a place to find this on the township website.
Sure, we can work with Molly on
Okay.
getting something put together, and absolutely we can post it on the website.
Yeah, because I think the Bring Your Own Bag Radnor graphic looked so nice, and it would be great if we had a consistent look with that, make it appear cohesive. So we can definitely do the legwork, right? You're already planning to write the document, but maybe we can have it formatted in a similar way.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, sounds great. Anything else? we're open to still further ideas. We don't have to limit our Earth Day stuff to this. It's just somebody, I think it was Donnell, said we ought to get started with this, so
Yeah.
we're getting started.
I suspect that we're trying to look for a name for this healthy yard. And my suggestion is not to come up with something brand new, but see what is out there on the internet. If there's a term that's being used a lot, to latch onto that. So there's consistency and recognition, and adds to the legitimacy of our cause.
Anything else?
Yeah, just another question. So are there other activities that may be taking place at the Willows? Is it more, it's got to be more than just a,
There's
Plant giveaway.
this not in association with us, but that day there will be an orienteering program, and I'm not 100% sure what the orienteering is at the Willows, but that's what's going to be taking place, because I already had communicated with Will, and he said, we can certainly have it there. We will most likely hold it on the lawn there, kind of by the creek across from that one set of linear parking. And yeah, so the only thing I know about is orienteering. I'm sure there's time or place for other stuff too. Yeah.
Maybe Jerry and his crew at the high school could think of something.
yeah, well.
I don't
we'll
want to volunteer him for.
No, I've got pen scratchings over here, but, so yeah, certainly in terms of plantings, that's a great tie-in for students, so we can have, whether it's elementary students or middle school students or the high school, whatever, we'll figure out definitely an angle to tie in, a little more school involvement there, I think would be a lot of fun. So I think we can tie in an angle there.
Could I ask, does the Shade Tree Commission, do they have Earth Day activities somewhere in the township, or?
I don't know. Melissa, do you happen to know?
I don't believe they do. I don't recall from previous years hearing anything about that.
I mean, the native species tree giveaway used to be around that time as well. I know they used to do one in the spring and the fall. I don't know if is there one targeted for the spring? That's normally, is that through the Conservancy?
Yeah, the Conservancy does that, but is it a giveaway? Yeah, I think it is a giveaway.
It is a giveaway,
Yeah.
so, I mean, if we're going to be doing a native species giveaway at the Willows, we should make sure that, we try to combine that at the same time, 'cause that's a nice
I
draw also.
think Gretchen's not planning the tree
Okay.
giveaway at that time. She was kind of planning the native plant, and then when I contacted her, she thought that might be a good collaboration.
Last year, the Shade Tree Commission did the tree giveaway in June. And they were provided by PHS, which is,
Right.
there you go, yep.
Yeah, so let's make sure we get in touch with the Shade Tree Commission, because if we can do that also on Earth, I mean, June's not a great time to be planting young trees like that anyway, so April's would definitely be better anyway.
22nd, April 22nd, yeah.
I think they're kind of tied to when PHS has the trees for
Has them
sale.
available.
Yeah, but I would think that for Earth Day, the Shade Tree Commission would want to have a face doing something. I just don't know. Maybe I'm speaking out of turn.
The other thing is, though, I guess just because of parking, I'm not sure how big we'd want to make it. I don't know. I don't know if there's a
The
limit.
more the merrier. We're not going to run out of parking. I mean, not at the Willows. There's ample parking there. Yeah.
Oh, sorry, one year they did it in February, so it's been all over the place.
The other thing, I had mentioned this to Melissa, but this was just a few days ago, that I saw that in the Lisa Borowski's newsletter. She's our rep now, our Pennsylvania rep. There's they got some kind of $500,000 grant, and I don't know if any of that money's available to us. So, you know, I wrote to Lisa, but I didn't hear back yet. And one of the initiatives is Yards to Meadows, which sounds pretty much up our alley. So, yeah, so we have to look into that as well. Okay, and then, you know, the yard sign bit, where, you know, we had that yard sign, I think we're going to update that a little, that I showed last year, I think, and just kind of pricing it out and see what the township is willing to help us with. So there's that piece. We could, if that happens to be ready, at the time, we could also introduce that. So we'll see. So try to block off April 22nd, because we'll probably need as many hands on deck as we can get. Okay, thank you. The next thing is the report and update on the green team, and that's from Dan.
Following up on the announcement made by Margie, on January 15th, a request for a proposal was submitted to Melissa Kahn that is asking for bids on a comprehensive energy audit of municipal buildings. This would follow on from an energy audit performed by PICO, a cursory audit done back in 2018 of this building, the Sulpizio Gymnasium, Gym Center, the library, the Memorial Library, and the Public Works Building. So if all four of those buildings could be included in the audit, it would be very, I think, great example to the township of ways to conserve energy, and we would hope that there would be suggestions also for installing renewable energy, particularly solar energy, either on the building or through a power purchase agreement, possibly, for the township specifically, if not the community. So we'll watch this space as it goes through the solicitor's office, and we'll be hopefully taking bids in the spring.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Does anyone have any questions or comments about this? Any members of the public? Okay, yeah, so I'm not entirely familiar with how this goes. Will the township will then go with this no matter what the bids are, or do you know how this works?
Well, there's a certain amount put aside or proposed for paying for the audit, and judging by the other townships that have undergone a comprehensive audit, the cost should not be any surprise to us. It'd be in the maybe 10 to 20,000, if depending on the number of buildings included.
Okay, thank you. And then we have updates on our educational initiatives with Ray, and Jerry's not here. Did Jerry get the, just,
Yeah,
Okay.
I've been in communication with Jerry. He couldn't.
Okay.
He couldn't make it tonight. So, one, we are going to focus some activities around Earth Day So our intent is to reach back out to the elementary schools and the middle schools and organize some type of educational programming around the Earth Day timing. So we haven't solidified anything yet, but that's kind of next on our agenda. And then, Donnell, the intent is to take the survey that was done, and we're going to get that to Jerry, and we're going to modify it so he can actually distribute it at the high school. So we'll make it a little more kind of high school relevant. I thought it would be kind of interesting to get the high school's perspective on what's the students' priorities.
Yeah.
So I think that'd give us, it'd be interesting to see sort of a comparison of the community priority versus a student, see a couple different demographic splits, so that might be kind of interesting.
I love that idea.
So that's what we'll start at the high school.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Do you think they'll still do it electronically?
I think I'm pretty sure we'd absolutely still be able to do it electronically. We'll have to figure out a few data privacy and students, obviously, it's always a little bit sensitive, but we'll
Yeah.
figure out how we get distribution list, or if it has to be paper, we'll find a way.
Okay.
But we should be able to do something.
We can make it so that, like, right now, the survey is anonymous, so it does not collect people's email addresses.
Yeah.
So it can be set up that way. People have an option to submit their email address to us. But just so everybody knows, our current survey does not automatically collect email addresses.
So
Go ahead.
yeah, and so I would like to try to tie more content into Earth Day, certainly with the student bodies as well. So I know in the past, in my scouting days, we participated with the Tree City by doing a bunch of plantings. So that was one of the requirements for Radnor to be Tree City certified, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe we try to tie it all in together, work with the shade tree. I'm not sure what their role is with respect to the Tree City as well, but hopefully we can try to piece some of these things together, all centered around Earth Day. I think would be great.
So are you going to have actual activities there at the school, though? Is that what the plan is?
Well, to at least get the student body represented at the Willows, and then figure out what else, and then the other piece to it around, again, the elementary and middle schools would be at the schools themselves. So yes.
Yeah, you had said something about something, or did I dream this, with trash?
Yeah, that
yeah.
was our idea last year, so we'll have
Yeah.
to kind of revisit that, but
Okay.
that's still,
Yeah.
I think it would still be fun and appropriate.
Yeah, and so at the elementary school, sorry. Does somebody have something to say? At the elementary schools, maybe you could, I'm just thinking of Wayne Elementary, they have all that lawn. So I'm wondering if we could somehow get the kids to start pestering the school officials to start doing something with that lawn. Yeah.
I guess on that note, the plot of land that is encompassed by the entrance ramp to 476, Lancaster Pike, and 476 is, as far as I know, is still bare of any intentional plantings. Does anyone know
Yeah,
what the future?
that has been planted and it is on schedule for growth, so.
Good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of work done there to
Great.
remedy that clear cutting, so it's, it just takes time. But we had seed donated, it was done professionally.
Great.
And it's been remediated.
Good.
But another year or so and it's gonna really look great.
It's too bad it's not easily accessible.
Yeah, but visually, I think it's gonna start to really repair itself.
And is that township land?
Yes.
Okay. I'd still like to see a big solar panel stream right there as people pull off of 476 and see Radnor is solar friendly. Just a thought.
A boy can dream.
Okay, so are there any updates, other updates or reports? I have the one thing to bring up, which, I've emailed Melissa about, is the status of our plastic bag ban does not look all that promising. I had been communicating back and forth through Steve Norsini about, from Lancaster County Farmers Market, who felt that it was mistaken that they thought compostable bags were acceptable, what we had thrown that out of the ordinance. So I was just at the market last week, and I haven't seen any signs there either.
Oh, they're there, Margie. They're
Oh,
just
they are?
this big.
Oh, I didn't see.
Yeah, so there's at least one at Rittenhouse Poultry,
Okay,
but it's like behind the counter. And then the Hebners has one because they're friends of ours.
Okay.
So they slightly blame me for it, but they do have it posted up there. But they're quite small. I don't know if that's the way they print it or something. Maybe we need to troubleshoot that. But they're like half of a page. They might have printed them that way too. So they're like this big.
There are two different sizes.
Yeah, they printed the
Yeah.
small one.
Sarah reported that Giant still does not have any signs, and I don't know, I don't shop a lot, so I don't know about the other stores.
I'd
there-
be
is
happy
there
to.
a-
Sorry, go ahead, Carol.
No, is there a template online that you can
Yes.
use?
Would you repeat that?
Is there a template online that you can, okay, I'll share it with some of the stores. Just go to the township and under the ordinance, or where would you find it?
You could probably Google "bring your own bag Radnor" and it would come up.
Yeah,
I would
yeah.
assume.
Yeah, there's a special whole page devoted to it, and, yeah. That would be great if you could make some connections there, because it's, March 15th is looming pretty close.
If I had what you would like communicated, I could send it to the president of the Wayne Business Association. So if somebody could just get what you would want, and then they'll put it on their social media site.
Okay,
and
I
they
will,
can s-
I will send you the link.
Okay.
Melissa, is it possible that some of those be printed here at the township building? I would be willing to pick them up and deliver them out to folks.
There are some at the front.
There are
desk.
some? Okay, I'll grab some on the way out then. Thank you. Printer ink, recessions.
Carol, if I forget, please send me an email. Yeah, but I will try to do that.
Okay, great, and I'll pick up a couple signs on my way out too, so I have them.
Anything else or further comments on the plastic bag ordinance, which never seems to die?
It's not even alive yet, Margie. Give it time.
So when does it officially, is it March that it?
March 15th.
March 15th?
There was supposed to be like 6 months' notice.
Yeah,
They were
that's
supposed to
what I
have
thought.
that starting 6 months ago, so.
I just want to let you know there is going to be one more mailing going to be going out shortly to all the businesses, to the headquarters, and to the local businesses.
Is
Great.
that a physical or an email mailing?
It's a physical mailing.
Physical mailing, okay.
Okay, is there anything else, and that anyone wants to bring up? Any new initiatives, old stuff? Okay, any public comment?
Sarah Pilling, 29 Garrett Avenue. I don't know how many of you read the article in today's New York Times. The city of New York is starting plant waste composting. Voluntary, and they are providing the containers. It's either going to be composted or, because it's a really big city, they have a biodigester they've contracted with. So this is an issue that has come up before here in the township. The Earth Action Leadership Conference did a whole summer's intern on the local composting by Mother Compost and kitchen waste harvesting with that food waste and pizza boxes, which is really important, are composted at Linville Orchards. They get the leaves, they have the wood chips, they have a front-end loader that puts the fresh plant waste into the leaf pile. Within about 2 days, it's gone. You can't see it, and their only visitors have been several foxes who come and dig holes in the piles, but actually that's good because it introduces more oxygen into it. So it's something that I hope that EAC will keep it in mind and bring this up again. Media did a pilot program. They were able to get funding. I made many phone calls to the gal who was in charge of it, and it was election time, and then I got busy. So but I know there is grant money to start a pilot program, and I'm hoping that this is something that the EAC will continue the work on. The township already has the site called Skunk Hollow. They have the front end loader, they have the piles of leaves, and they have the wood chips. So everything is here, just the containers. Now I do see, and I don't drive through Wayne much, but I have seen people with their Mother Compost buckets. So some people are doing it, but it would be really good to see it done first on a voluntary schedule and then on a routine process. The issue is we don't want plant food waste going to landfills because it produces anaerobic bacteria and you have a very heavy emergence of methane. And we already have the leaves which break down to an extent, but the food waste would add to it and break it down better, and then it could be distributed back to the parks and to the residents. And what you're doing is you're putting fertilizer into the ground rather than either sending it to Covanta to be burned or it's going to a landfill. So that's just something, and I'm seeing more and more cities and states that are doing this. So it is a trend, and I'd like to see Radnor begin to do this too. Thank you.
Thanks, Sarah. Yeah, we've discussed this sort of on and off and hasn't really taken off yet, but we'll have to keep this going and keep it in mind. I have a question, Sarah, because my daughter lives in Manhattan and she brings her compost to a site like once or twice a week. It's a block or two away. She carries it there. Does this mean New York's going to be picking it up? Okay. Because I know they already have the composting program. It's just you have to bring it there. All right. Well, if New York can do it, we can do it, right? We had some meetings about this, and it kind of just sort of lingered in the air.
I think we got to get over the plastic bag ordinance hump, and then I think there will be an opportunity for this to be discussed.
I think this certainly should be on our next initiative after the Earth Day, yeah. Anybody else? Anyone want to run with this? When with the composting. We did have a meeting a while ago with some of the township officials, and they were supposed to look into some things, but we didn't really hear back. So it's something we have to kind of keep on top of, or else it will die.
Yes, I mean, similar to the plastic bag ban, I'd like to do a little more research on what other communities in Pennsylvania are doing in terms of composting. So, I mean, again, normally Radnor hasn't been the leader in any of these areas, so I'm sure there's others who are out there doing things. So I think that.
I mean, the other thing that was brought up is that we do have Mother Compost and I think another company, and, then the question is, would that be putting them out of business? And so that's another thing we need to talk about.
Yeah, it's not a business thing. I mean, again, typically food waste represents about 20% of our trash. It's very significant. It's very significant. And if we can leverage what we're already doing at Skunk Hollow to collect it and to make a better product or something that has more nutrients built into it, I mean, obviously we need to understand that and try to see if we can do that.
I will report that I do use Mother Compost as well, and my 2-person family composted over 500 pounds of food waste in 2022. I cook 5 or 6 nights a week, so my personal food waste is definitely categorized as personal food waste, where all the people getting takeout pretend that they don't have food waste. But I was personally impressed by that. They actually weigh it every time they pick it up and keep track of it for you.
I'm not sure you'd want to compost some of the stuff you get in takeout either. Yeah. Okay, so if nobody has anything else, I will adjourn the meeting. Okay, meeting's adjourned. Thank you.